of all those things, the thing I will miss the least will always be the cold and the snow. Welcome back, travel fans. I'm Morgan from the very unofficial travel guides, and I'm not at home in front of the red sofa. I'm here, actually. I am at home. I'm at my mom's house where I grew up in Minnesota. And I'm just realizing that it's too cold out here. I'm gonna need to put on something warmer. Hold on. That's better. Yeah, I'm here in Minnesota, and it's freezing here in Minnesota. I am not, even though I grew up here, I am just not a wintry kind of person. And yes, I am inside, but this area of my mom's house, it's like an addition that was built, and it's, what would you call it? It's like a sunroom or something like that, so it's not winterized. There are heaters in here, but we just don't usually use this part of the house during this time of year, so it's freezing in here. And the reason I'm out here is just because it's light and sunny, and the sun doesn't get into the rest of the house, and right now it's just a little bit too dark in there to make a good-looking video, and I want to make a good-looking video for you here on Christmas, so long story short, that's why I'm out here in the sunroom. Actually, a little bit of personal information. Like I said, this part of the house wasn't here when I lived here, and that, oh, I'm covering in here, I'll just do this, that door here, that used to be the back door, and now it's like inside the house, so a little bit of Morgan trivia. Anyways, it's Christmas, and I wanted to do a story time for you, even though I'm really busy here with family stuff and visiting all my aunts and uncles and cousins and nieces and nephews and brothers and sisters and everybody here in Minnesota. And I wanted to tell you about the time I spent Christmas in South America. Christmas in South America. Yes, as I've said so many times, but in case you're new here, welcome, nice to see you. I used to work as a musical theater performer, or let's just say a professional performer. And I was cast in a show very similar to Cirque du Soleil, so like the style of Cirque du Soleil, and we toured around the world, and we had several smaller gigs, I guess you could say, in different places. And then Hilton, the hotel brand, was opening a brand new gigantic resort in Uruguay, on the coast of Uruguay, right across from Buenos Aires. And the resort is called the Conrad Resort, which is a brand owned by Hilton. And they built a theater just for our show. And we went there and played, I think, 4 or 5 months in a row. And it was a pretty cool experience. And that was not the first time that I didn't spend Christmas with my family, and also not the first time that I didn't spend Christmas in a cold and snowy environment, because I did have a Christmas in Orlando when I was working there, and that was before this, and that was also the Christmas that I locked my Christmas presents in the car. And I did a story time about that while at Disney World, and if I think about it, I'm gonna link it in the comments below, and if I don't, somebody will, I'm sure, remind me, and I'm always thankful for that. Anyways, for me, growing up in Minnesota, and like I said, it is freezing here, it is snowy outside, and I'm not a fan of it. But for me, Christmas was always connected to cold and snow. And of course, family. And so it was weird for me to be someplace, you know, first of all, without my family, but then someplace that was also warm and sunny and on the ocean, because none of that was anything that I ever connected to Christmas. And I want to ask you already if this is something you can relate to. In the comments, let's talk about Christmases that you had that were much different than the traditional kind of Christmas that you had growing up, and how you kind of coped with it, because that's what I'm gonna talk about here. The crew that I was with, the cast that I was with, we had been working together. Most of us had been working together for quite a while, actually. And so it wasn't like we all started working there and had Christmas together. We had even been working there before we went to South America, most of us. And we were all, well, yeah, everybody except for like 3 people were all living in the same hotel. And we were all like on the same wing. And so it was kind of like a great big roommate situation. It was kind of like college dorms. In the hotel we were staying, we weren't in the Conrad Hotel, unfortunately. The 3 people who weren't staying with us, they were in the Conrad because they negotiated it in their contracts, and we didn't do that. So I was in this other hotel, which was actually pretty nice. And actually, I should try to Google it to see if it's still there. We had Christmas, you know what? I bet we didn't even have Christmas off. I'm sure we had a show that night, but we had the day off. And so what we did is we all got together a couple days before, and we decided that everybody was going to contribute a little bit to the Christmas dinner. And like I said, I mean, in December in Uruguay, it's summer, so it's warm and sunny, and we were right on the ocean. Like, the beach was, walk to the corner, turn right, and there was the beach. And gosh, I really didn't appreciate it as much as I should have. If I were there now, I would be so happy, as long as I had my family with me too, because that would be nice. And I'm sure they would be happy to be there too if it was warm and sunny. Tangent City, party of one. We all got together, and I think we created a list of who was gonna bring what. And I actually remember one of the other dancers and I, Melanie, we decided we were gonna make, not baked potatoes, but like where you cube potatoes and you put them in like butter and herbs and stuff like that and wrap them in tin foil and then put them on the grill. That's what we were gonna make. I went to the grocery store and got all that, and that was our contribution. So I think we did it on a day where we had a later show, because some of our shows were like at 10:30 at night. And I think we didn't have an early show that day. And we met and we had, like, instead of Christmas dinner, we had like Christmas lunch out by the pool in the back, and the hotel gave us all the barbecue stuff and all the plates and everything, and we all had a great big grill fest. And we also did a gift exchange. And my family this year, I'm celebrating mostly with my mom's side of the family, and she has a lot of brothers and sisters. And so there's a lot of aunts and uncles and a lot of cousins. And we're doing gift exchange this year, and everybody has to make something. And I'm gonna say this just because I'm pretty sure that none of my aunts and uncles or cousins are gonna be watching this. I still haven't made anything, and I still don't really have any ideas. And if I had thought of it sooner, I would have asked you guys, because I'm sure some of you are really creative. So I don't have any idea of what I'm gonna make. But when I was in South America for Christmas, we also did a gift exchange where everybody was supposed to go and buy a unisex gift, and it could be something funny, and most of them were funny things. And we wrapped it up anonymously, and then we played games with dice to pass out the presents, and we had ways that you could steal them from other people as well. And that's a tradition that actually we've done in my family for a long time as well. And maybe I was the one who suggested it, I don't remember. But I love doing gift exchange, and I especially love if you do White Elephant. That's where every present has to be funny. Like, it's like some people call it junk exchange, and I love playing that too, especially if you do a round where you can steal things, or you can give your gift to somebody else and then they have to take it. That's always a lot of fun. And we did that in South America when I was there. And like I said, a lot of the gifts were funny. Some of them were nice, but none of it was junk. And I guess that's one thing that always makes it really feel like Christmas to me, even if I'm not with my family and even though it was warm, was just being with people, being with a group of people that I enjoyed being with, and having some special food that we didn't normally eat or prepare, and then having presents to open, and that little element of surprise and gratefulness of receiving something, and the joy that you get from giving something to somebody else. And then that night we all went to work and did a crazy circus show in front of drunk casino guests. And that was my Christmas in Uruguay. And it's one place that if I went back there now, after, everything that I've done and seen since then, I would totally appreciate it in a way that I didn't back then. I think I was like 23 years old, and I had traveled quite a bit, but just, I just was not prepared to enjoy it like I would now, living basically directly on the beach in a nice hotel, and having a good job that I loved to do with people that I enjoyed working with. I would enjoy that so much differently now than I did back then, even if it meant having to spend Christmas away from my family, away from Marcus, and with no snow. But of all those things, the thing I will miss the least will always be the cold and the snow. How about you? Thank you, everybody. I hope you have a happy holiday celebration, whatever you are celebrating. If you are celebrating something, tonight is the big party at the aunt's house, and where we're going to be doing gift exchange again, and I still have to find something to make. And I thank you also so much for following me this year. Just your clicks and your comments and your likes and your shares of my video, that is a fantastic present. And I look forward to 2018, keeping up the tradition of Sunday Storytime and maybe switching it up with a couple other ideas like I did this year with the 5 weeks of 5 things. I've got some fun ideas already. I'll be rolling those out soon. And thanks as always to everybody who is a member over at patreon.com, and especially the people who give a little bit extra more, or a little bit extra to help me continue doing what I do. And as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm making a video for you guys as well, but I'm gonna go inside and warm up a little bit because, like I said, there's no heat out here, and it's like 12 degrees outside, so it's probably like 15 degrees in here Fahrenheit, and that is just not warm. All right, that's it. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.